You've probably heard the word synergy thrown around a million times, right? In boardrooms, on LinkedIn, it's kind of everywhere. But what if it wasn't just some corporate buzzword? What if you could actually build it, engineer it? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dig into.
So, let me just ask you something. Think about your own professional network for a sec. Is it just a long list of contacts you've collected, or is it actually working for you, like actively helping you win? Because that difference, well, it's everything.
And that's exactly where this idea of engineered synergy comes in. See, this is not about getting lucky. Not at all. It's a system. It's what happens when ambitious, driven people stop going it alone and decide to intentionally create wins for each other. It's a formula, not a happy accident.
Okay, but talk is cheap, right? Theory is one thing, so let's get to the proof. We're about to jump into 4 real, totally unfiltered stories from the Unus2Unum platform that show you what this looks like in the real world.
First up, we're in Berlin with a climate tech founder. And the thing that just jumps out right away is how crystal clear their goal was. This wasn't some vague, hey, I'm looking for funding post. Nope. They needed a lead investor for a Series A round, and it had to be from an EU impact fund. That kind of specificity, it is absolutely crucial.
So what happens when you have that kind of clarity and a network that's built for it? What's the result of just one super targeted introduction? $5.2 million. That's the entire Series A closed and in the bank in just 4 months, all from a single connection. It's wild. And you got to hear what the founders said. They were like, look, on any other platform, I would have had to do the whole spray and pray thing, right? Spam 200 VCs and just hope. But here, one single trusted intro did everything. That right there is the power of a true curated network.
Okay, story number 2. This one is all about how this whole principle can just explode a business's growth. We've got a marketing consultant in London. She's doing great on her own, a solo act, pulling in a solid 180 grand a year. But she had that feeling, that feeling that there was a whole other level she could get to. And wow, did she find it. Get this, in just 14 months, her agency's revenue shot up to $1.4 million in annual recurring revenue. That's what, nearly an 8x jump? So what happened? What was the catalyst here?
You guessed it. It was all about the network. A massive 80% of her new clients came from direct referrals. But here's the kicker, the part you really got to pay attention to. That huge wave of new business, it only started after she went out of her way to make 9 strategic introductions for other people in her very first month. She gave first, she invested in the network, and boy did it pay her back big time.
All right, story number 3 tackles a problem that so many entrepreneurs face, finding the perfect co-founder. So picture this, you've got this brilliant AI engineer over in Singapore. They need a partner in the US who is an absolute killer at enterprise sales. I mean, that's a classic needle in a haystack situation, right?
Now think about how long that usually takes. Months, a year, even longer? Well, for them, it took just 6 weeks. 6 weeks. From the very first meeting, which was set up by a couple of mutual members, to actually incorporating their new company. That's the speed of trust. It's just fast.
And they didn't waste any time. They totally hit the ground running. That perfect co-founder match, made across continents in a matter of weeks, has already turned into a real startup that just locked in a $3 million pre-seed round. It's incredible.
For our final story, let's look at a major pain point for basically any company that's trying to grow: hiring awesome people. So we're looking at a fintech scale-up in Dubai, and they were just burning through cash, paying a fortune to traditional recruiters, and honestly, getting pretty mixed results.
So what did they do? They started leveraging the network for hiring instead. And the result? They cut their recruitment costs by a whopping 68%. I mean, that's a huge chunk of change you can now pour right back into growing the business. And let's be super clear, this wasn't about saving money by lowering their standards, not even close. In just 1 quarter, the network delivered 27 pre-vetted, top-notch candidates. They ended up making 11 hires from that pool, including a super important CTO. The network basically became their talent pipeline, and a way more effective one at that. Okay, so let's recap. We've seen 4 totally different stories, right? Raising money, growing clients, finding a co-founder, building a team. But there's a common thread running through all of them. So let's break down the formula that's making this all happen.
Because these stories, they're not flukes. They're not the exception.
They are what happens when you actually engineer synergy. So, what's the secret sauce here? What is the common thread connecting all these different wins?
Well, it really boils down to this simple 3-step playbook. Step 1, you give generously. Remember our marketing consultant? That's what she did. Step 2, you get crystal clear on your goals, just like the climate tech founder. And step 3, you trust that this network of other driven people is going to light up and go to work for you.
So, that's the formula. But how do you actually apply this stuff? How do you take this principle of engineered synergy and use it to write your own growth story?
Well, it really comes down to a choice between two different ways of thinking. You can stick with the old way, waiting around for luck, spamming contacts, and trying to do it all by yourself. Or you can choose the active path, creating synergy through trusted intros, giving strategically, and multiplying wins together. It's the difference between just hoping something good happens and actually having a strategy.
And the biggest takeaway here is that you have so much more control than you probably think. Your next breakthrough, your next major milestone, your growth story, it's already there, in potential. It's just waiting for the right connection, the right key, to come along and unlock it.
So I'll leave you with this to chew on. If you could engineer just one, perfect connection right now for funding, a dream client, a co-founder, what would it be? And then, maybe even more importantly, what one connection could you make for someone else that could completely change the game for them?